What if having too many choices is making us less happy, not more? What if the freedom to choose, something we all value, is actually holding us back? In today's world, we're surrounded by endless options. From what to eat, to what to wear, to what career to pursue, the choices seem limitless. But here's the paradox. Instead of feeling liberated, we often feel overwhelmed, stressed, and even paralyzed. This is the paradox of choice, and it's shaping how we live, think, and feel in ways we don't even realize. The paradox of choice is a concept popularized by psychologist Barry Schwartz. It's the idea that while having choices is generally a good thing, too many choices can lead to negative outcomes. Instead of making us happier, an abundance of options can lead to decision fatigue, regret, and dissatisfaction. Think about it. When you're faced with 50 types of cereal at the grocery store, do you feel excited or overwhelmed? When you're scrolling through hundreds of shows on a streaming platform, do you feel entertained or stressed? This is the paradox of choice in action. And in today's world, it's more relevant than ever. So, why does this matter? Because the paradox of choice isn't just about what cereal to buy or what show to watch. It's about how we make decisions in every area of our lives, from our careers and relationships to our health and happiness. When we're faced with too many options, we often struggle to make decisions. We worry about making the wrong choice. We second-guess ourselves. And even after we've made a decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our mental health and overall well-being. But the good news is there's a way out, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. In this video, we'll dive deep into the paradox of choice. We'll explore the psychology behind why too many options can be overwhelming. We'll look at real-life examples of how this paradox affects us every day. We'll discuss the consequences of choice overload, from decision fatigue to regret. And most importantly, we'll share practical strategies to help you navigate the sea of choices and find greater happiness, clarity, and peace. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how to make decisions that truly matter and how to let go of the rest. Let's start by exploring the overwhelm of choice. When we're faced with too many options, our brains go into overdrive. Every decision, no matter how small, requires mental energy. Should I have coffee or tea? Should I wear the blue shirt or the red one? Should I watch a movie or read a book? These decisions might seem trivial, but they add up. Over time, this constant decision-making leads to something called decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is the mental exhaustion that comes from having to make too many choices. It's like running a marathon for your brain. And when we're mentally exhausted, we're more likely to make poor decisions or avoid making decisions altogether. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by choices. Maybe it was at a restaurant with a menu that seemed to go on forever. Or maybe it was while shopping online, scrolling through endless options. That feeling of being stuck, of not knowing what to choose, that's the overwhelm of choice in action. But it's not just about feeling stuck. The overwhelm of choice can also lead to stress and anxiety. When we're faced with too many options, we worry about making the wrong choice. We second-guess ourselves. And even after we've made a decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our mental health and overall well-being. Another psychological impact of having too many choices is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. FOMO is that nagging feeling that we're missing out on something better. It's the voice in our head that says, what if I chose the wrong thing? What if there's a better option out there? In a world of endless choices, FOMO is everywhere. Think about dating apps. With so many potential matches at our fingertips, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, what if the next person is better? Or think about social media. We're constantly bombarded with images of people living their best lives, traveling, achieving, succeeding. It's easy to feel like we're missing out. But here's the thing. FOMO doesn't just make us anxious, it makes us regretful. When we're constantly worried about missing out, we're less likely to be satisfied with our choices. Even if we make a good decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our happiness and well-being. Another psychological impact of having too many choices is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. FOMO is that nagging feeling that we're missing out on something better. It's the voice in our head that says, "What if I chose the wrong thing? What if there's a better option out there?" In a world of endless choices, FOMO is everywhere. Think about dating apps. With so many potential matches at our fingertips, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, "What if the next person is better?" Or think about social media. We're constantly bombarded with images of people living their best lives, traveling, achieving, succeeding. It's easy to feel like we're missing out. But here's the thing, FOMO doesn't just make us anxious, it makes us regretful. When we're constantly worried about missing out, we're less likely to be satisfied with our choices. Even if we make a good decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our happiness and well-being. Finally, let's talk about the illusion of control. When we're faced with endless choices, it's easy to believe that we're in complete control of our lives. We think, if I just make the right choice, everything will be perfect. But this is an illusion. The truth is, no matter how many options we have, we can't control everything. Life is unpredictable. There will always be factors outside of our control, unexpected challenges, unforeseen consequences, and plain old bad luck. But when we're faced with too many choices, we forget this. We start to believe that if we just make the right decision, we can avoid all of life's uncertainties. This illusion of control can be dangerous. It sets us up for disappointment. When things don't go as planned, we blame ourselves. We think, if only I had made a better choice. But the reality is, no matter how many options we have, we can't control everything. And that's okay. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of surprises. And sometimes the best thing we can do is embrace the uncertainty and let go of the need to control everything. Let's start with consumer choices. Imagine walking into a supermarket to buy a simple jar of peanut butter. You're faced with dozens of options: creamy, crunchy, organic, low sodium, no sugar added, and more. What should be a quick decision turns into a 10-minute debate. Do you go for the healthier option, the cheaper one, the brand you recognize? This is the paradox of choice in action. While having options is great, too many can overwhelm us. Studies show that when shoppers are faced with too many choices, they're more likely to walk away without buying anything, or to feel dissatisfied with their choice afterward. This isn't just about peanut butter, it's about everything, from jeans to smartphones to cars. The more options we have, the harder it becomes to make a decision, and the less satisfied we feel with the choice we ultimately make. Now, let's talk about career and education. In the past, career paths were more straightforward. You might follow in your parents' footsteps or choose from a handful of professions. But today, the options are endless. You can be a software engineer, a graphic designer, a social media influencer, or even a professional gamer. While this freedom is exciting, it can also be paralyzing. How do you choose the right career when there are so many possibilities? And even after you've chosen a path, you're constantly wondering if you made the right decision. Should you switch careers, go back to school, start your own business? This constant second-guessing can lead to dissatisfaction and regret. The same applies to education. With so many courses, majors, and online learning platforms, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You might spend more time researching options than actually learning. And when you finally make a choice, you're left wondering if you missed out on something better. Next, let's explore relationships and social life. In the age of dating apps, Finding a partner has never been easier or harder. With thousands of potential matches at your fingertips, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, what if the next person is better? This mindset makes it harder to commit. Even when you find someone you like, you're left wondering if you're settling. The same applies to friendships and social life. Social media gives us access to hundreds or even thousands of people. But instead of feeling connected, we often feel isolated. We're constantly comparing ourselves to others, wondering if we're missing out on better friendships or more exciting experiences. This constant comparison can lead to dissatisfaction and loneliness. Finally, let's talk about entertainment and media. Streaming platforms like Netflix, Spotify, and YouTube offer endless content. You could spend hours scrolling through movies, TV shows, songs, and videos, and still not find something to watch or listen to. This is the paradox of choice in action. While having options is great, too many can lead to decision paralysis. Instead of enjoying what you've chosen, you're left wondering if you made the right decision. Did you pick the best movie, the perfect playlist, the most entertaining video? This constant second-guessing takes the joy out of entertainment and leaves us feeling stressed and unsatisfied. Let's start with decision fatigue. Every decision we make, no matter how small, requires mental energy. Should I have coffee or tea? Should I wear the blue shirt or the red one? Should I watch a movie or read a book? These decisions might seem trivial, but they add up. Over time, this constant decision-making drains our mental energy, leaving us exhausted and overwhelmed. Decision fatigue is like running a marathon for your brain, and when we're mentally exhausted, we're more likely to make poor decisions or avoid making decisions altogether. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by choices. Maybe it was at a restaurant with a menu that seemed to go on forever. Or maybe it was while shopping online, scrolling through endless options. That feeling of being stuck, of not knowing what to choose, that's decision fatigue in action, but it's not just about feeling stuck. Decision fatigue can also lead to stress and anxiety. When we're faced with too many choices, we worry about making the wrong choice. We second-guess ourselves. And even after we've made a decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our mental health and overall well-being. Next, let's talk about regret and dissatisfaction. When we're faced with too many choices, we're more likely to regret our decisions. Why? Because with so many options, it's easy to imagine that there's a better choice out there. This is known as the opportunity cost of choice. Think about buying a new phone. You spend hours researching different models, comparing features, and reading reviews. Finally, you make a decision. But as soon as you start using your new phone, you notice a feature you don't like. Suddenly, you're filled with regret. You think, maybe I should have chosen the other model. This regret can lead to dissatisfaction, even if you've made a good decision. The problem is, the more choices we have, the more opportunities there are for regret. And this constant cycle of regret and dissatisfaction can take a toll on our happiness and well-being. Another consequence of too many choices is paralysis and inaction. When we're faced with too many options, we often struggle to make a decision. We get stuck in a cycle of overthinking and second-guessing. And sometimes, we don't make a decision at all. Think about choosing a career. With so many options, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You might spend years researching different paths, taking courses, and exploring opportunities, but never actually committing to a career. This paralysis can lead to missed opportunities and a sense of stagnation. The same applies to smaller decisions. Think about choosing a movie to watch. With so many options on streaming platforms, it's easy to spend hours scrolling and never actually watching anything. This paralysis takes the joy out of decision-making and leaves us feeling stuck and unfulfilled. Finally, let's talk about the mental health impact of too many choices. The constant stress of decision-making, the fear of regret, and the paralysis of inaction can all contribute to anxiety and stress. When we're faced with too many choices, we're constantly worried about making the wrong decision. We second-guess ourselves. And even after we've made a decision, we're left wondering if we could have done better. This constant cycle of doubt and regret takes a toll on our mental health. But it's not just about anxiety and stress. The paradox of choice can also lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, whether it's on social media or in real life, we're left feeling like we're not good enough. This constant comparison can lead to dissatisfaction and unhappiness. The bottom line is, too many choices can take a toll on our mental health and overall well-being. But the good news is, there's a way out. And that's what we're going to explore in the next section. The first step to navigating the paradox of choice is to simplify your options. When you're faced with too many choices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But here's the thing, not all choices are created equal. Some decisions matter more than others. Start by identifying the decisions that truly matter. For example, choosing a career or a life partner is a big decision. Choosing what to have for breakfast? Not so much. Once you've identified the important decisions, focus your energy on those. For the smaller decisions, simplify your options. Limit your choices to a few high-quality options and stick with them. For example, if you're overwhelmed by the endless options at the grocery store, create a list of your favorite products and stick to it. If you're struggling to choose a movie to watch, pick a genre you love and narrow it down to a few options. Simplifying your choices reduces decision fatigue and helps you focus on what truly matters. The next step is to set clear priorities. When you're faced with too many choices, it's easy to lose sight of what's important. That's why it's crucial to define your priorities. Start by asking yourself, what do I value most? Is it health, relationships, career, or personal growth? Once you've identified your priorities, use them as a guide for decision-making. For example, if health is a priority, choose the salad over the burger. If relationships are a priority, spend time with loved ones instead of scrolling through social media. Setting clear priorities helps you focus on what truly matters and reduces the stress of decision-making. It's not about making the perfect choice. It's about making the choice that aligns with your values and goals. Another powerful strategy is to embrace the concept of good enough. In a world of endless choices, it's easy to fall into the trap of perfectionism. We want the best job, the perfect partner, the ideal vacation. But here's the truth. Perfection is an illusion. Instead of striving for the perfect choice, aim for good enough. This approach, known as satisficing, involves choosing an option that meets your needs, even if it's not the absolute best. For example, instead of spending hours researching the perfect phone, choose one that has the features you need and fits your budget. Embracing good enough reduces the pressure of decision-making and helps you feel more satisfied with your choices. It's not about settling, it's about finding contentment in what you have. Finally, practice gratitude. One of the biggest challenges of the paradox of choice is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. When we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, it's easy to feel like we're missing out on something better. But here's the thing. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have. Instead of worrying about the options you didn't choose, take a moment to appreciate the choices you've made. For example, if you're feeling regret about your career, remind yourself of the opportunities and experiences it's given you. If you're feeling dissatisfied with your relationships, focus on the love and support you receive. Practicing gratitude helps you find contentment in your choices and reduces the fear of missing out. It's a simple but powerful way to navigate the paradox of choice and find greater happiness and peace. One of the most significant benefits of limiting choices is increased happiness. When we have fewer options, we're less likely to feel overwhelmed or regretful. Instead of constantly second-guessing ourselves, we can focus on enjoying the choices we've made. Think about it. When you have fewer options, you're more likely to feel satisfied with your decision. For example, if you only have 3 restaurants to choose from, you're more likely to enjoy your meal than if you had to pick from 20. This is because fewer choices reduce the pressure to make the perfect decision. Studies have shown that people who limit their choices are happier and more content. They're less likely to experience regret and more likely to appreciate what they have. By simplifying your options, you can create a sense of contentment and joy in your everyday life. Another benefit of limiting choices is improved decision-making. When we're faced with too many options, it's easy to get stuck in a cycle of overthinking and indecision. But when we limit our options, we can make decisions more quickly and confidently. For example, if you're shopping for a new pair of shoes and only consider 3 options, you're more likely to make a decision quickly and feel good about it. On the other hand, if you're faced with dozens of options, you might spend hours comparing features and still feel unsure. Limiting choices helps us focus on what truly matters. It allows us to make decisions based on our priorities and values, rather than getting lost in a sea of options. This leads to better decisions and greater satisfaction with the choices we make. Finally, limiting choices can lead to greater focus and clarity. When we're not constantly bombarded with options, we can focus on what's truly important. This clarity helps us make better decisions, achieve our goals, and live more intentionally. Think about your daily routine. If you simplify your choices, like what to wear, what to eat, or what to do, you free up mental energy for more important decisions. This clarity allows you to focus on your priorities and pursue your passions. Simplifying choices also reduces stress. When we're not constantly worried about making the right decision, we can relax and enjoy the present moment. This sense of calm and clarity enhances our overall well-being and helps us live more fulfilling lives. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. We started by exploring the paradox of choice, the idea that having too many options can lead to overwhelm, regret, and dissatisfaction. We looked at how this paradox affects everything from consumer choices to career decisions, relationships, and entertainment. We discussed the consequences of too many choices, including decision fatigue, FOMO, and the illusion of control. But we also explored practical strategies to navigate the paradox of choice, like simplifying options, setting priorities, embracing good enough, and practicing gratitude. Finally, we highlighted the benefits of limiting choices: increased happiness, improved decision-making, and greater focus and clarity. The message is clear. Sometimes less really is more. Here's the truth. Life is full of choices, but not all choices are created equal. Some decisions matter more than others. And when we focus on what truly matters, we can find greater happiness, clarity, and peace. Nietzsche once said, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years." The same applies to choices. It's not about having endless options. It's about making the choices that bring meaning and joy to your life. So as you move forward, remember this: simplifying your choices isn't about giving up freedom. It's about creating the freedom to focus on what truly matters. It's about living boldly, authentically, and unapologetically. And in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, that's a message we all need to hear. Now, it's your turn. Take a moment to reflect on your own choices. Are they truly yours, or have they been shaped by others? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if this video resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit from it. Together, we can create a community of growth, authenticity, and self-discovery. Thank you for watching, and remember, The journey to simplifying your choices starts with a single step. Take that step today.